Let's talk of depression and let's take a look at what it is that a depressed person really is. What is it that that person feels and why is that happening? There is a place of darkness within the mind, and that is the place where the depressed person habitually lives. How does he do that, or how does she do that? This person has been following some model behaviors, and and this person has tried to live up to the expectations of others. This person has been taught not to express hurt feelings, not to express feelings of sadness, not to express feelings of anger, and to always be that role model, that model child. And so this model child tries to grow up into a model adult, and it's not able to do that. It's just not able to sustain that behavior. And the next thing is that this adult goes into depression. What is depression really? There are expectations that all of us have from life. All of us have expectations from life. We all have it and we have a right to have it. We have a right to have expectations. And something happens in life and those expectations are not met. They could be emotional expectations from our parents, but our parents may not have been able to give us that kind of support for whatever reason, because they are not in a place of balance themselves, so they have not been able to give that support. Or there may have been a lack of achievements in life, and the child is constantly being pushed to achieve. But the child is feeling so bad because it's having to suppress all its natural emotions. And in that act of suppression, it has started feeling so bad that it has begun to tell on the achievement. The first thing such a child will do is that it will not study. It will show up in studies. And later on, as life progresses, it will start reflecting on other things. And before you know it, this is a very, very ready and available candidate for depression for no real rhyme or reason. There is no explanation. It is just that it has had, as a child, it has had to follow some things, and its natural impulses have all been curbed. This child has had to grow up before time. Plus, there is nothing in the name of achievement. Often there are comparisons with other children. Parents do it, teachers do it. And the result is that the child has a feeling of unworthiness. This is not a feeling which is uncommon at all. It's a very, very common feeling. And it shows up in the achievements, it shows up in the expression of talents. There are talents and this person is unable to express them, and it goes on and on. Before long, that label of depression has come on the grown-up person. And then the parents are worried. My daughter is depressed, my son is depressed. I have plenty of people coming and asking me with the horoscope about their depressed children, and the only thing I tell them is, and they're asking whether they should take the child to a doctor or get some treatment done, and I have only one reply to it. You go for that treatment because you need it. You are the one with the problem. You are the depressed case. You go to a doctor and you go for a treatment, your child is perfectly all right. Then they feel unsettled. This is not what they are expecting. They are expecting me to say, this planet is there, that planet is there, you could do this or you could do that. And I'm telling them that you are the one who's depressed and you need medical treatment. You please go and get yourself treated, but leave the child alone. Your child is okay. That grown up daughter is okay. That grown up son is okay, but you are not okay. And you have never looked into the fact that you are not okay. And today you are able to see it in your child. It's given by you. You have handed that depression over to the child. So there's no point in asking whether it's that child who needs treatment. It's not the child who needs treatment. But anyway, what ultimately happens is that that child who's now grown up is taken to a doctor or to a psychiatrist or somebody, and a line of treatment begins, and it shows no results. If I have the fever and you take a tablet, will I become okay? If I have the fever, I have to take the tablet. You're giving the tablet to that one is not going to help. Can you see where this is leading? You are taking the child for treatment. The child is a grown-up adult now. And then that child has to take treatment, and whatever happens, and then there are no results. Then the parents start feeling depressed. And what I'm trying to tell you is that the child was never depressed. You were the one who were depressed. If you had gone in for treatment, you might have benefited. So, anyway, to cut that long story short, there is a case of depression in the house, in the family. Now, what is to be done? All the medical treatment and this treatment and that treatment and that, everything goes on. Now, what is to be done? Any kind of suppression of negative feelings can lead to depression. Depression is that state where the person is not able to feel neither positive nor negative. It's just a state of numbness. So what is the next thing to do? Somehow the capacity to feel has to come back. And if you expect that that depressed person should suddenly transform himself or herself and go into some feeling of joy or happiness or positivity, that's impossible. You have to make that a step by step journey. So the first thing that so-called depressive person has to do is to express an emotion, even if it is a negative one. Allow that person to just get talking to that person and let that person come out with anything and everything that he or she needs. Whatever he or she needs to express. It may make sense, it may make no sense, but let that person talk. And not for one day, 2 days. This has to happen for several days. At the end of maybe weeks, without any medicine, that person will begin to express anger, which is better than numbness. Numbness is depression. Anger is a positive emotion for a depressed person. Society doesn't want angry people around. That's okay. But what about that depressed person? That depressed person, for that depressed person, the expression of any emotion is positivity, even if it's a feeling or emotion that society calls negative. So let that person express anger. Be patient, don't react to it, let that anger come out completely. Whatever that person has to say against whoever, just give that person a safe place to express that emotion, and that will be the beginning of healing for that person. That will be step 1 to healing. Because what is depression? There is an expectation and there is a suppression. In between, you have depression. So the first step is towards expression, even if it is expression of a negative feeling. So allow that to happen. That is the first step.